Okay, I'm in Colorado at my in-laws' ranch, answering some questions. We're here for a family function. So let's see, where am I? There, right? Yeah, farmland, ranch land. Okay. All right. Want to answer a couple questions. I'm behind, and I appreciate your patience. Just trying to find free time is getting more and more difficult. Um, okay, 6-year-old grandson diagnosed H2 autism spectrum, um, active IEP. He's in one of the magnet schools since March of last year. To be proactive, emailed first grade teacher, let her know about medication behavior issue, and then you got some attitude. And now you have meltdowns. And now this is a continuing issue through the first semester, but the other teacher seemed to be successful. So there's a marked difference between the one teacher as opposed to the one that your grandson unfortunately was assigned. And that's what I mean. It's unfortunate because if your grandson was with X teacher, then Y would not be occurring, or at least not in the frequency. But because your grandson was assigned W teacher, well, W teacher um, has a superiority complex, has an axe to grind, probably has issues. Whoever knows? There's bad apples out there, just arrogant sacks, and and the principal's not making it better because the principal's sitting there going, well, this is an IEP issue, instead of doing the right thing and saying, look, I need to move this child, which, now the principal's caught up in this nonsense and, not giving you access to observations. And I do know who the autism specialist is in your school system. And, um, how can I say this? In a, she's a yes person. So I don't necessarily wouldn't put a lot of stock into, whatever the observation is. Um, Now, you asked the question in December, and I know and I appreciate your patience once again. Uh, so I don't know what the result is, whether you got any of that worked out. If you have not got it worked out, then let me know, because uh, you know what you don't want, because you're in a magnet school, is for this to continue, because then all of a sudden you just get the child released. And that's the secondary thing you need to take into consideration. Isn't necessarily that they're delaying you, um, you know, to be oppositional or because they want to be extra careful. They could be delaying you just to sit there and rack up reasons not to let him come back, because it's a magnet program. Um, and so that's what you want to be careful of. And so at that point, you may need somebody like me in order to protect him, because by protecting him, uh, then we're able to track that back by sitting there saying, look, you guys didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. And, um, you know, pointing out that they needed to exhaust some of the supports and some of the necessary changes in order for your grandson to receive a free and appropriate public education. And those are the things that you need to take into consideration. If they knew that your child had, or your grandson had behaviors, if they knew that your grandson had needs, well, what are they servicing him for with regards to his IEP? Because doesn't sound like to me that the first grade teacher cares. And quite frankly, it also doesn't sound like the school system has the right IEP in place. So, you got a twofer there. But things that they should have done that they didn't do, and that they may still not be doing. So you got, the first semester definitely to where you can whack them, slap, slap. You know, Second semester, I don't know how things are going thus far. We're almost knocking on the door of March. So provide me an update. And hopefully they made that change, and hopefully things with your grandson are much, much better. Um, but it's ridiculous that the school system would let things continue to mount and escalate instead of being proactive and having the right IEP in place, having the right training involved, and then telling that first grade teacher that she needs to get in line and she needs to be a team player. And it doesn't sound like to me that anybody's making that happen.